again, guys. Here's you another video today. Commander Riker, Wemby, Louisiana versus Maine. As for perks, we got Agile Seagull, Bird's Eye View, and Pegasus. And then we also got Sea Wings, but if you want to, you can change that to Marksmanship. Bird's Eye View, you can change to Gyrating Drill Bits. And then Agile Seagull, you can change it to Flammable Cannoneer. As for inspirations, we have Arthas the Cold and Captain Picard. And as for the match, you'll see here in a minute on Louisiana, I changed it to Marksmanship for better accuracy. Let's see, AA mod, steering gear, concealment, artillery plotting room, epic. Loadout, it's got torpedo attack planes, and then everything else is just basic like every other ship. Okay, let's take a look at the specs. Let's see, 96,300 hit points, 37% torpedo reduction, fire resistance 40%. And then for airstrike aircraft, Douglas BTD, 5100 damage, 230 knot top speed, attack flight size 3. Aircraft per squadron 3, detectability range 10, aircraft restoration time 45 seconds, torpedoes per plane, 2 torpedoes per plane, torpedoes per attack flight 6, maximum simulated damage 6,231, torpedo range 2 kilometers, torpedo speed 55 knots, arming distance 621 meters. Main battery mod, 406mm 50 caliber Mark 7 2x3 turrets, and then you also got a quadruple turret in the back, 18.6 kilometer range, 30-second reload time, 34.6 second turret traverse, 1.9 shell grouping, which is awful. Max range vertical dispersion 118.2 meters, max range horizontal dispersion 196.9 meters. Median max range vertical dispersion 37.3 meters. Median max range horizontal dispersion 62.2 meters. Maximum HE shell damage is 5,700, 820 meter per second muzzle velocity, 36% chance of set fire, 68 millimeters armor penetration, 13,100 AP shell damage, 762 meter per second muzzle velocity, 848 millimeters of armor penetration at point blank range, 502 at max range, 45 degree minimum ricochet angle, guaranteed is 60 degree, 33 second fuse timer, and have to penetrate at least 68 millimeters of armor for the shells to go off. And for secondaries, the 127mm Mark 41, these are Worcester guns basically, the same guns you have on Worcester. 10x2, there's 10 of them with 2 in each mount, 5 kilometer range, 4-second reload time, 1 shell grouping. There's the max and median vertical and horizontal dispersion, 1800 HE shell damage, muzzle velocity 808 meters per second, fire setting chance 9%, armor penetration 21 millimeters. AA, it's pretty basic, the same as all Montana class ships. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's got not too bad of AA. It's at 100, just like all Montanas. So you don't really have to worry about planes as much. Except for the Dutch cruisers, which are a pain in the neck. Anyway, max speed 31.9 knots, but it's showing 33.2 knots because I have a perk changed. 950 meter turn circle, 12.9 second rudder shift time, 23-second engine spool up time, reverse engine spool up time 11 seconds. Engine power, multiplier speed threshold 7 knots. Reverse engine power, multiplier speed threshold 10 knots. Concealment, 13.7 kilometer detectability range by sea, 18.6 after fire main guns. While on fire, 15.7. By air, it's 11.5 kilometers. After fire main guns, 19.6. When the ship is on fire, it's 14.5 kilometers. Guaranteed detectability range, 2 kilometers. After firing and smoke, it'd be 15.4 kilometers. Armor, it's pretty much the same as Montana. I'll go ahead and let you look over it here. You got 32mm bow, pretty basic. 32mm aft. And then torpedo protection, 32mm. Torpedo side plating, 19mm. Conning tower, 197mm armor. Conning tower bottom, 105mm. Conning tower sides is 457mm armor. Superstructure armor is only 19mm armor, so pretty easy to farm that superstructure on Louisiana. 32mm deck, of course. Casemate armor for the turret. Well, yeah, maybe. Is this for Kurt? No, this is for. Okay. Yeah, I see. Talking about the flight deck. Okay, here we go. Armor belt, 38mm by 409mm, pretty good armor belt. As long as you angle, no problem. Main battery, okay, top plate of the turrets, it's 184 for the front and 229 for the back. And then the rear plate of the front turrets is 305mm armor. The rear turret, it's 505mm armor. The side plating of the front turrets is 241mm of armor. The rear turret, it's 254mm of armor. The bottom plate of all the turrets is 102mm of armor. And then the frontal plate on the front turrets is 457mm of armor. The rear turret, it's 500mm of armor, which is massive. Main battery armor for the barbettes. For the bearing, it's 51mm of armor protecting your turning mechanism bearing. And then the barbettes are 541mm of armor. The flight deck itself is 38mm of armor, which is pretty good, but Enterprise and any other aircraft carrier with armor-piercing bombs will go right through that, no problem. The regular deck is 32mm of armor. The deck armor for the artillery plotting room is 6 to 19mm. And then the actual hangar is 19mm of armor. The Citadel bottom is 50mm of armor. The Citadel torpedo bulkhead is 110 by 180mm. Citadel deck is 16mm of armor. The deck above that is 19mm of armor. Aftward, so the back of the ship at the top is 324mm, and at the very bottom is 387mm. And then the front is 432 by 457mm of armor. And then your Citadel armor belt is below the waterline is 259mm. Above the waterline or right at the waterline is 409mm. As long as you don't go broadside, you're fine. Tough, above average base HP rating. Airstrike can request an automated air squadron that drops projectiles in designated area. Big target, above average superstructure size. This was one of the options for completing the Montana class battleships. A flight deck at least 350 feet long was required to create a hybrid battleship carrier, which would, or only be done by removing the third turret. It also suggested that the fourth turret be replaced with a quadruple turret to preserve her combat power. Year of design, 1949. Okay, Maine. Azure Lane, New Jersey, of course, is the commander. Flammable cannoneer, gyrating drill bits. On second thought, don't you just love it? Fight fire with fire. Andrew Cunningham, Nuramaki. Of course, a gun mod 2, steering gear mod 2, concealment system, plotting room, epic mod, artillery plotting room. Loadout, here's the standard camo, so we can make it fair, but when we get into the match, this is AI. Reason I do that is because it's hard to find a good match for teammates at these tiers, so I go ahead and do AI. Sorry about that. 80,000 hit points, 37% torpedo reduction, 32% resistance to fire, and then you have the 406mm 50 caliber Mark 7s, 2x3 turrets, and then the other ones are 2x2. So there's 2 guns in each of those front and aft turrets, 19.6 kilometer range, 28.5 second reload time, 34 second turret traverse, 2.03 shell grouping, max range vertical dispersion 121.3 meter, max range horizontal dispersion 202.2 meters, and then medium max range vertical dispersion 35.9 meters, medium max range horizontal dispersion 59.9 meter. 5700 HE shell damage, muzzle velocity is 820 meter per second, 36% chance to set fire, 68 millimeters of armor penetration. Maximum AP shell damage, initial is 13,100, but with Azure Lane, New Jersey, 14,148, 762 meter per second muzzle velocity. At point blank range, 848 millimeters of armor penetration. Armor penetration at max range is 492. Minimum ricochet angle, 45 degree. Guaranteed 60, 33 second fuse timer. Have to penetrate at least 68 millimeters of armor to detonate. Secondaries, same as Montana. It's got the Worcester guns for secondaries, which is pretty cool, I think. AA is identical. Got 40mm Bofors, 20mm Oerlikons, 20mm Oerlikons Mark 4, Mark 20, and then the 127mm Mark 41. Maneuverability is identical to the OG Montana, except it's 2 knots faster, 30.7 knots, 950 meter turn circle. Concealment is the same also, but we'll get to those. I'm getting ahead of myself here. I enjoy Maine. It's one of my favorite Montana class ships. It was the first one I got to play. I fell in love with it, and I got one of my best games in it. I got over 220,000 damage, cracking, and I had 7 kills, or 7 ships destroyed. So she can be a beast when she wants to be. And the thing is, none of the other ships destroyed me, only the aircraft carrier did in that match. But in this match, it's kind of sucky, because teammates stealing kills, but it shows off her power pretty good. But as far as matches go, we're going to go ahead and start with Louisiana today, so I can show her off. As far as armor goes, everything's the same as Montana, except you have less hit points is about the only difference. I've looked through all this, it's all the same. But you can go ahead and look over all this if you wish. It's in the American Tech tree. So it's up to you. Would you rather... Well, you'll need Maine anyway to get Montana and Louisiana. but I'm just comparing their capabilities. Basically, they're the same in my mind as far as damage, except Louisiana has an advantage with the torpedo planes. Whenever somebody goes behind an island and you're about to finish them off, you can drop those torps and finish them off without having to have them in your line of sight to shoot at them. Citadel's the same everywhere. It's all done identical. 50mm bottom, 259 to 409 at the waterline and below waterline, and then 6mm, 19mm Citadel deck. 324, 387 at aft. So do not go run away from Musashi, because if it gets your backside, it will death strike you. And Yamato Citadel bulkhead for torpedoes, 110mm, 180mm, and the front is 432 and 457mm. Same as Louisiana, Montana, Ohio. Yep, all the sisters are the same. BA Montana. There was also supposed to be a USS Kentucky Montana class. Fingers crossed, Wargaming actually adds it. Long reach, above average main battery range, hit them before they can hit you. Ironclad, above average armor thickness, greater resistance to all forms of armor penetration, superior AP damage, above average AP shell damage. MAINE is based on a pair of small studies conducted in July 1940 at the request of the U.S. Navy General Board to show what advantages might be gained from having 10 guns in an equally distributed layout. Since the design didn't prove any significant weight or cost savings, they eventually progressed to a full 12-gun design. Year of design, 1940. Okay, let's get into the matches. Thank you all for stopping by and viewing this video. I hope you enjoy.
Attention, support that target. Capture that area.
Visual contact on screen. Enemy fast attack vessels incoming. Enemy cruiser. Think he'll try his luck with us? Patrol craft away. Patrol, come on home. We're not out of the woods yet. Focus. Keep it together, folks. We're nearly there. Keep it together, folks. Tactical. I owe you a drink.
Away.
「作戦指揮は履修済み」ってね。指揮官をサポートするわ。敵艦を発見。よっしゃ、行くわよ。敵巡洋艦を発見。頼むわよ。目標を貫通。やるじゃない指揮官。 前方に魚雷を確認。当たらないように気をつけてよ。戦場に火災が発生してるわ。私たちが優勢よ。指揮官、勝利は目前よ。私が一緒だから当然かしら。指揮官、対応完了よ。よし、目標よし。